Hello, on our quest to take over the world with our heart and mind aligned with love. Hello, thank you for joining me on 8. I am Maggie, and we are on day 73 of the Momentum Challenge with heart and mind aligned. And I am just loving it. We have our little pyramid here, the Eye of Horus, and us angels dancing. All right, so we're on day 73 of the Momentum Challenge, and I am really hoping that these days are uplifting you in whatever you are facing in your corner of the woods. Now, on day 73, we are in chapter 3 we're doing Florence Shinn's complete works, and we're in book number 3. It's the power of the word. And so what we're doing is we're reading the chapters twice, and then I go through and break it down into points. So you might grab onto one like a wand. The word is your wand, and use it to cast the most beautiful spell or to cast the most beautiful prayer. Okay, so the power of the word. By thy words thou shalt be justified. By thy words thou shalt be condemned. Right? So we are justified and condemned. Where? In our words. A person knowing the power of word becomes very careful of his conversations. Now, this book is written back in the day, so it's always him. But just know whenever we say him or his, it's her too. So a person knowing the power of the word becomes very careful of his or her conversations. He or her has only to watch the reactions of his words to know that they do not return void. So apple manifests. Bird manifests. Money manifests. Want to talk other shit? That's going to manifest too. Okay. Through his spoken word, man is continually making laws for himself or herself. I knew a man who said, I always miss a car. It inevitably pulls out just as I arrive. His daughter says, I always catch a car. It's sure to come just as I get there. So which one are you, the man or the daughter? This occurred for years. Each had made a separate law for himself or herself, one of failure or one of success. So this is the psychology of superstition. So challenging you. Are you speaking laws into your life of failure or success? And if you're finding yourself with the previous failure, let's switch it up. Today's the day. Okay, today is the day. All right. The horseshoe or rabbit's foot contains no power. Like, I love my crystals. It's just a reminder to me that God loves me. But does the crystal really have the power, or is it me? It's me. So, the horseshoe or the rabbit foot contains no power, but man's spoken word and belief that it will bring him good luck creates expectancy in the subconscious mind and attracts a lucky situation. Which I love my crystals, so they are very uplifting to me. When I look at my crystals, they uplift me. They are reminders in the world that God loves me, and for the things that they symbolize, they help. So I find, however, that this will not work when man has advanced spiritually and knows a higher law. One cannot turn back and must put away graven images. For example, 2 men in my class had great success in business for several months, when suddenly something went to smash. We tried to, it's like kind of funny when you listen to some of these sayings. When suddenly everything went to smash. So has everything gone to smash? Ooh, we have a different meaning for that now. Okay, so we tried to analyze the situation, and I found instead of making their affirmations and looking for God for success and prosperity, they had each bought a lucky monkey. I said, oh, I see. You have been trusting in the lucky monkeys instead of God. Put away the lucky monkeys and call on the law of forgiveness. For man has power to forgive and neutralize his mistakes. They decided to throw the lucky monkeys down a coal hole, and all went well again. This does not mean, however, that one should throw away every lucky ornament or horseshoe about the house, but he must recognize that the power back of it is the one and only power, God, and that the object simply gives him a feeling of expectancy. That's right. So I was with my friend one day who was in deep despair. In crossing the street, she picked up a horseshoe, and immediately she was filled with joy and hope. Woo! She said God had sent her the horseshoe in order to keep up her courage. If you love crystals, please check out Tina Marie Briggs' ATX crystals, because she has some of the most beautiful crystals on the planet. But anyway, it was indeed at that moment about the only thing that could have registered in her consciousness. Her hope became faith, and she ultimately made a wonderful demonstration. I wish to make the point clear that the men previously mentioned were depending on the monkeys alone, while this woman recognized the power backed of the horseshoe. Okay, right? So the horseshoe was a reminder, and it was backed by God, and it gave her expectancy, and it encouraged her. All right. So I know in my own case, it took a long while to get out of a belief that a certain thing brought disappointment. Okay, so this is deep. Florence is sharing this. So a lot of times people look at other people and say, oh my God, they're so perfect, or they got it all, or blah, blah, blah. And they don't ever look at what that person, the hell that person had to crawl through to change their mind, to change their heart, to change their words. Everybody is in different parts of the spectrum. So I don't want you to count yourself out just because you feel like, oh, you're not thinking positive thoughts 90% of the time. It's effort. Take your time, be kind, be gentle. And if you do the work will do you. So I want you to hear this real quick. Florence said, I know in my own case, it took a long while to get out of a belief that a certain thing brought disappointment. So you're hearing that? She recognized that I'm thinking this brought me disappointment, but I need to be backed by God. I know God has my back. So therefore, this can't touch me. I think that is powerful, because when you read her work, you feel so uplifted and encouraged, but she is acknowledging to you the process of her journey too. So if that happened, disappointment invariably followed. Okay, so if she thought, okay, this pen brought me disappointment, then she was disappointed. So I found the only way I could make a change into the subconscious was by asserting. Asserting has a different vibration to it, doesn't it? It has like a sit up tall, stand up straight, and walk with some swagger. So I could make a change in the only way I could make a change in the subconscious was by asserting. There are not two powers. There is only one power, God. Therefore, there are no disappointments, and this thing means a happy surprise. Okay, where did that pen go? You see, I'm not into disappointment, and now the pen disappeared. Okay, I'm going to say that again. So this was her little trick, her little hack, okay? To change her subconscious, she asserted. So get into your asserting posture. Bring. Here we go. Repeat after me. There are not two powers. There is only one power, God. Therefore, there are no disappointments. And this thing means a happy surprise. I noticed a change at once, and happy surprises commenced coming my way. Whee! Okay, I have a friend, story. So I really think that last paragraph is key, because like I'm telling you, she's giving you a hack. She found herself getting attached to things, thinking, okay, this disappointed me. But once she made her mind up that there was only one power, and like Neville Goddard talks about, there's only one cause, right? Once she got her mind wrapped around the fact that there was only one power, not two, and that everything was going to be a happy surprise, her life shifted, and so will yours. So, and please leave in the comments maybe what kind of happy surprises start coming your way after you start doing this. So here's another story. I have a friend who said nothing could induce her to walk under a ladder. And I said, if you're afraid, you are giving into the belief of two powers. Okay, so here's another example of giving into the belief of two powers. God and evil instead of one. As God is absolute, there can be no opposing power unless man makes the false of evil for himself. So to show you, believe in the one power God, and that there is no power or reality in evil, walk under the next ladder you see. And soon after, she went to her bank. She wished to open the door, her box in the safety deposit vault, and there stood a ladder in her pathway. Ah! It was impossible to reach the box without passing under the ladder. She quailed with fear and turned back. Oh. She could not face the lion on her pathway. However, when she reached the street, my words rang in her ears, and she decided to return and walk under it. And what does she remember? There's only one power, one, and that's God. So it was a big moment in her life, for ladders had held her in bondage for years. So what is it? What is the version of a ladder in your life that is holding you in bondage? I want you to remember, when it clicks, whatever it is, remember the one power of God and do your version of walking under the ladder. So it was a big moment in her life, for ladders had held her in bondage for years. She retraced her steps to the vault, and the ladder was no longer there. This so often happens. If one is willing to do a thing he is afraid to do, he does not have to do, then the obstacle disappears. So it is the law of non-resistance, which is so little understood. Someone has said that courage contains genius and magic. Face a situation fearlessly, and there is no situation to face. It falls away of its own weight. Okay, so hear that again. Face a situation fearlessly, and there is no situation to face. It falls away of its own weight. Now, I know that you can't always face a situation completely fearlessly, but face it with the most courage you can. And I'm telling you, God will meet you the rest of the way. God will carry you all the way to that point, and then he will carry you through it. So the explanation is that fear attracted the ladder on the woman's path, and fearlessness removed it. Thus, the invisible forces are ever working for man, who is always pulling the strings himself, though he does not know it. Owing to the vibrational powers of the word, whatever man voices, he begins to attract. People who continually speak a disease invariably attract it. So I want to say, from this moment on, to the best of your ability, you don't need to, do penance or any of these things, but I want you to walk boldly in the power of your words. I want you to really take the power of your words to heart. And what are you speaking into existence? Okay, so I'm going to read that to you one more time. Thus, the invisible forces are ever working for man, who is always pulling the strings, himself or herself, though he or her does not know it. Owing to the vibratory power of words, whatever man or woman voices, he or she begins to attract. So people who continually speak a disease invariably attract it. We are not going to speak a disease. We are going to speak of health, the number one wealth. We are going to speak about travel. We're going to speak about luxury. We're going to speak about unlimited amounts of money, and we're going to speak about adventure. We're going to speak about rich, strong, healthy, intelligent families. We're going to talk about art and creativity and music and angels who are always with us. Okay, so that is day 73. Take it in and let it marinate in your heart, and take what tools are going to help you. When you can, hit that like and subscribe and leave your positive comments. Let me know how Florence Shinn is throwing down in your life or throwing you up. And remember the one power. When you catch yourself getting split, coach yourself in, okay, we're going to be brave because there's only one power. And that power is working for me. And I have many wonderful surprises coming. And so do you. All right. Well, you know what's next? Peace in. Peace.